How's it going, everybody? Tommy Star here. Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to my May Blu Ray update. And just in time before the end of the month, like usual, I made it with just a few days to spare. But today is absolutely epic, you guys. This is by far the biggest Blu-ray update I've ever done. And probably the biggest Blu-ray update in the history of the world. I think it was about a year and a half ago or something like that, I had my biggest update, which was 176. Can't remember exactly when I did that, but I remember that 176 was the highest number. Well, you guys, never thought I'd see the day that I would outdo 176, but we did. We got it by 5. 181. Yes, 181 pickups for the month of May, you guys. And I don't know how it happened, but it did. And I got to tell you, this is just, like I said before, an epic update, you guys. I have some just absolutely incredible stuff to go through and show you guys in this update. I took advantage of a lot of different sales that were going on online. Obviously, this is probably like one of the biggest online updates ever, you know, still with everything that was going on. But now, thankfully, everything's starting to open up again. So things are getting a little bit better out there. But regardless, this is a lot of online ordering. So a lot of like pickups from Kino Lorber. I took advantage of some Ronin Flick sales. Took advantage of, I don't know, some other stuff that was going on too. There's so many listed here. I can't even remember everything. But in this update, you guys, I would say what takes the cake overall is 4K. I have been going absolutely 4K crazy in the last like month or two, you guys. And even this month in June. I just been picking them up left and right. Just the 4K bug has hit me right smack dab in the middle of my face, you guys. And I'm just, yeah, I'm going absolutely insane over 4K. So this update is going to have a ton of 4K. But getting down to the categories, we got whole ton of DC Marvel. We have like I don't even know how many A to Z. It is just like the biggest amount of A to Z ever. A humongous chunk of horror, you guys. Just so many freaking horror. We got some Vinegar Syndrome. We got a bunch of Scream Factory. We got some series. We got one Arrow. We got one Steelbook. I don't know. Only one Steelbook in this update. And then a whole bunch of Disney. And yeah, a lot more Disney 4K. So with that being said, you guys, 181 titles. I decided to do something a little bit different in this particular update. I don't know if I'm going to do this like going forward, but for this update being so damn huge, I didn't feel like going downstairs and collecting all my like DC Marvel and horror, Scream Factory and all that and just hauling it upstairs like I usually do. But it's not so bad when you don't have that many pickups. You just grab a few off the shelf and then bring them upstairs. But since I have so many horror and so many Scream Factory and Vinegar Syndrome and everything, I decided what we're going to do this time around is I'm going to kind of jump around the house. So we're going to start up here with what I keep upstairs, the A to Z, the Disney, and then we're going to head downstairs and do everything else, the DC Marvel, the horror, you know, boutique labels, everything that I keep down in the man cave. So I figured that'd be best just so I don't have to, like I said, haul it up and down the stairs. And going forward, like I said, I mean, if the hauls aren't that big, I'll just continue to do it up here. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Let me know what you think of this video. If you like it this way or not, you know, just let me know down in the comments. So anyways, you guys, we got enough to go through in this update, and I know it's going to take forever. So I am going to really try hard to fly through these titles and try not to talk about them a lot because we have a lot to go through, and I really want to try hard to get in one video. Don't know if it's going to happen. Hopefully it will, but yeah, we're going to fly through. But anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and get into this massive May Blu-ray update. We're going to go ahead and start up the A to Z with a bunch of Kino Lorber titles that I picked up. So first one up here, we got Gone Fishin', Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. Super funny movie. Next up here is The Onion Field, a movie that I remember watching with my dad many years ago, and I kind of forgot about it. It's got Ted Danson in it, and I believe it's based on a true story, I believe. I always forget. Like, I get it confused if it's actually, based on a best-selling novel. So maybe not a true story, but based on a book. But it's really good. I remember kind of disturbed when I watched that because I was kind of young, but I didn't even know that was on Blu-ray. One that Craig's been telling me to pick up forever, Celtic Pride. Look at the cast in here, you guys. Damon Wayans, Daniel Stern, Dan Aykroyd. He says it's super funny, so I had to grab it. Most of these Kino Lorber titles were like $5 to $8 a piece, so you just can't go wrong. I think last month I showed you guys I picked up Porky's 1 with a cool Fox Icon slipcover, so I picked up Kino's double feature of 2 and 3. So... and then a movie I've been wanting to get for the longest time, ever since it came to Blu-ray a couple years ago. Robin Williams and Cadillac Man. Also has Tim Robbins in here. And then the last Kino title here is an old school Stallone movie called Fist. And I believe that this was before Rocky, I think. Or was it after Rocky? 1978. I think Rocky was 76 or something. Well, either way, it's an old Stallone film. Trying to pick up, a lot of Stallone titles every time I... get a chance to. So, all right, those are all the Kino Lorber titles. Now getting into just the rest of the Amrays, non-slips. We got Conan the Destroyer. I had the first one for the longest time, so I grabbed the second one off Amazon. So happy to see this finally get a Blu-ray release from Warner Archive, the biopic on Selena. This, of course, stars Jennifer Lopez. And again, so happy that this finally came to Blu-ray because I love biopics. Pretty funny Ben Stiller film that was pretty surprised I didn't have in the collection. The Heartbreak Kid. Grabbed that off of Amazon. A movie that I used to love as a kid. I used to watch this and Blank Man all the time, back and forth, because they kind of came out around the same time, and they're both similar movies, like comedy superhero movies. But The Meteor Man with Robert Townsend. I didn't even know that this was on Blu-ray, and when I noticed, I had to grab it. I think I got it off of Amazon. Unfortunately, Blank Man hasn't come to Blu-ray yet, which I don't understand because I think Blank Man's way better than this, but still happy to have this one. It'll be fun to revisit this. I think I got this off of Amazon, but a movie called Beaches. One of my mom's all-time favorite movies, and I like picking up movies here and there that, like, different members of my family enjoy. That way we can watch it together, and then they could borrow them and stuff too. Yeah, my mom loved this movie. It's pretty sad at the end. I remember watching it with her when I was younger. Not a bad movie, but yeah, like I said, pretty sad at the end. Another title for the Schwarzenegger collection, that is The Sixth Day. I've never even seen this movie, and I've heard that it's pretty badass. And I think I was like looking up Schwarzenegger titles on Wikipedia and then trying to figure out, which of his are actually on Blu-ray, and just trying to, pick them all up. Same with Stallone. So seeing it was on Blu-ray, had to grab it. Next up, another movie that my mom loves that I just had to grab to watch with her, but Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep in The Bridges of Madison County. I may have seen this before, I don't know, but like I said, I picked it up just because she loves it so much. It's like her all-time favorite movie, and she thinks it's just like a masterpiece in her opinion, so happy to grab that. Another Stallone title here, Get Carter. For the longest time I thought that this was out of print, but it might have come back into print now. I think Mill Creek releases, because it wasn't even that much. I think I got this for like 10, 15 bucks on eBay, I believe. So yeah, just happy to add it to the Stallone collection. A new title here that came out in May, spin-off movie to The Big Lebowski, Jesus Rolls. I watched this movie. It was all right. It was probably as good as I expected it to be, but kind of all focused on the Jesus character from The Big Lebowski. But if you're a fan of Big Lebowski, it's worth checking out. Another Stallone title here for the collection, Assassins. Couldn't believe I didn't have this movie. Pretty badass with Antonio Banderas, so I had to grab it. Another first time to Blu-ray title from Sony, Radio Flyer. Loved this movie as a kid. Get Elijah Wood in here, Joseph Mazzello from Jurassic Park, and John Hurd. Just so happy that this finally came to Blu-ray, so had to grab that. Picked this up off Amazon as well. A movie I kind of forgot about, used to love back in the day, and another title I didn't know was on Blu-ray. Blast from the Past, Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone. Really cool movie, you guys. Check this out if you haven't. It's definitely going to be worth your time. Sorry if I'm going too quick for you guys. Like I said, I just want to bust through these. So a movie, another title I loved as a kid, Peter Billingsley from A Christmas Story. Another movie he did around the same time, The Dirt Bike Kid. I would rent this all the time at the video store, but fun movie. Another Stallone title. I don't even know how big of a role he has in this movie. This was released by MVD, part of their marquee collection, but a movie called Shade. Never even heard of this movie, but he's in it, so I think he plays like a mob boss or something. I don't remember if I read that right. Let me know in the comments below, but yeah, just grabbed it for the Stallone collection. Takes us to the last of the A to Z Amores. A couple movies I picked up here. Now, I had there was like this collection set that I had that had the first 3 movies. And then the first one got released on 4K. And it was kind of a crappy release. It was, my case was all messed up and everything. And I really wanted to pick up these individual, not really individual, but you'll see in a second here, these separate releases of these movies. But that is the Karate Kid 2. Because like I said, Karate Kid 1 came to 4K, which I was so happy about. Hope the rest come to 4K eventually, but Karate Kid 2, this one was released directly from Sony, I believe. And then this is the Mill Creek one, but this has got Karate Kid 3 and then the next Karate Kid. So like I said, I had a set of 1 through 3, and then I had like a next Karate Kid, like on an individual title, whatever, individual release. But I just want to get different editions of these because I like these ones a little bit better. So, all right, that's it for A to Z Amory. Let's get into the slipcovers. Okay, you guys, so the first ones I'm going to show you here is actually something that I'm pretty proud of. So you guys know I've been collecting these for a very, very long time, and I've been trying to get the entire collection with all the matching slipcovers. It was a long, drawn-out process. Had to jump through a lot of hoops to find them all. Kind of a long story. If you guys want a separate video of all these, you know, just focus on just this collection, I'll do it for you. And that'll go into a little bit more detail on how I obtained them all. But yeah, so these were the final remaining ones I needed for the collection. And now I got every single one of them. And that is the entire DreamWorks collection. Every single DreamWorks film put onto Blu-ray. And this is just fantastic. No particular order here. I'll just run through and show you all of them. Kung Fu Panda. That was a hard slip to find. Rise of the Guardians. Like I said, this is every DreamWorks film with the matching slipcovers. Joseph, King of Dreams. Chicken Run, another super hard one to get. The Road to El Dorado. And I just love the way they all match on the spine. It's just so cool. Penguins of Madagascar. Actually, I probably should have showed you these in order. Madagascar, Madagascar Escape to Africa, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, and Penguins of Madagascar. So those are all the rest that I needed to complete the collection. There's about like 30 some of them or something like that. And now I have them all. So I'm so happy. I keep them all together now on the shelf because they just look so cool all together. I pulled them out of the A to Z shelves and just, you know, put them all together on the shelf. So yeah, so happy to finally complete that collection. A lot of good titles in DreamWorks line. Okay, so towards the end of last month, the end of May, is when my half-price books around the area started opening up. And I actually got a couple titles. I went in there for the first time in months, and it was so happy to be back in there in a used video store again. But picked this one up there with the cool Universal 100th anniversary flip open slipcover, but Smoking the Bandit with Burt Reynolds. Never owned this movie, and I had to grab it, especially with that slipcover. I seen that Walmart brought back those Warner Brothers quote slipcovers, and there was one there that I actually never picked up last time, and I didn't even have this movie. That is Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Yeah, I've never seen this movie. I heard a lot of mixed stuff about it, but these movies are so cheap, and I just love the slipcovers, so had to grab that. Another new title here that got released in May from Warner Brothers, a Ben Affleck movie called The Way Back. He plays like a basketball coach. Haven't seen this yet, but I heard good things about it, so I ended up picking it up when it came out. So looking forward to checking that out soon. Another title I found at Half Price Books that day with the slipcover, Speed Racer. I really don't even know why I grabbed this, because wasn't this based off of like a cartoon or something? I don't know, because I never watched it if it was, but I don't know. I think it was like super cheap and I don't know, like kind of an impulse buy. I have no idea, but title I got from somebody, I think off Facebook. I picked up a few horror titles from him, and then I just ended up throwing this in. But the Hot Tub Time Machine. You guys let me know if these movies are good. I don't have the second one yet, but I've never seen them. So let me know what you guys' opinions are of these movies. Another newer-ish title, Richard Jewell, based off of the 1996 Atlanta Games bombing. It looks really interesting. It's got a good cast in here. And I love movies based on true stories. So figured I'd check it out. So I think it was last update that I ended up getting like the first, or I had the first one and then I got 2 and 3 last month in April, and now I got the 4th one. So open season, Scared Silly. I've never seen any of these movies other than the first one, and I don't think that any of the sequels have the actual original stars like Ashton Kutcher and Martin Lawrence doing the voices in the movies. But I loved the first one, and you know, I just bought the sequels, just have the whole collection. So okay, you guys, the last A to Z slipcover before we get into the A to Z 4K, and there's a lot. But I saved the best for last. This one, you guys, is something I've been looking for the longest time. I've had this movie before. It's probably my favorite 80s action film of all time. And it never came with a slipcover except for this exclusive Comic-Con 2015 slipcover. You know, every now and then Comic-Con will release these really super exclusive limited slipcovers. And this was a pretty penny. I'll just say that, you guys. I was debating on it like crazy. Just going back and forth for like a week or two. Thankfully, it never sold, because in the end, I finally gave in and got it. But absolutely beautiful slipcover. I picked up the same style from the same year for the original Batman movie a while back. It's got Joker on the cover. But anyways, that is the movie Commando. Look at that beautiful slip, you guys. Like I said, this is super rare and super expensive. But it comes in a cool black amaret. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's really like any special features going on in here, which is pretty stupid. And I don't even remember, though, if my standard edition of this movie had features or not. I know, I really don't know, but gorgeous slipcover. I'm so happy I have this in my collection now, you guys. Okay, you guys, we are now going to get into all the A to Z 4K. And like I said, I got a lot. A lot of these I actually got from fellow YouTuber Chatty Bobby 1130. If you guys follow him, he's been selling a lot of his movies lately. And I picked up a ton of 4K from him for just awesome deals. Just absolutely. And a lot I got from eBay as well, I think. Pretty much majority of all these. But we'll go ahead and get into these, you guys. So one of my favorite comedy movies, I actually I ordered the movie off of Amazon. And then I got the slipcover from a different seller on Facebook, I believe, because this is the hard slipcover to find. But that is Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. So happy I finally got this movie on 4K. I should have got it when I first seen it at Best Buy, and I didn't, so missed out. Picked this up off of eBay, I believe. A Tom Hanks movie that I've never even seen with Denzel Washington, but it sounds awesome. And you know me, Tom Hanks, got to have everything by him. He's my all-time favorite actor. Next up, I got the Jumanji films. To be honest with you, I had all these on Blu Ray, and I didn't care much about getting the sequels on 4K. I really wanted the original on 4K. And I was having the hardest time finding it with the slipcover. It was really expensive. But then I found this lot that had all 3 of these on eBay. And it came out to like, I think 20 bucks a piece with slipcovers to get all 3 of them. It was like 60 bucks. So I figured, like, you know what? I'll be able to get the one I really want, and then I'll have the sequels on 4K. Not a big deal. So yeah, happy to have found that awesome deal. So I picked this up from Chad on YouTube. Terminator Genesis. I I didn't mind this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I think one of the main reasons why I picked it up is because I had 2 and 6 on 4K. And this is the only other one that's on 4K in the franchise. So I figured I'd just grab this so I have, you know, all the ones that are on 4K. So, but yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. Got this one from Chad as well, The Quick and the Dead. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but I remember really liking it. I think he sold me like the majority of his 4Ks with slips for like 12 bucks a piece. Just can't go wrong with that. So happy to have that one. The very first 4K release from Shout Factory, The Deer Hunter. I've never seen this before, but I remember my dad absolutely loved this movie. And Craig tells me all the time how cool of a movie it is. He sent me a little clip from the movie, the scene where they're doing the Russian roulette. And wow, talk about anxiety. But yeah, I can't wait to watch this. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have seen this and if you've been able to watch the 4K of it yet and what the transfer looks like. Picked up Step Brothers on 4K. Super funny movie. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. Can't go wrong. Had to grab it. A newer movie I've yet to check out. Matt Damon, Christian Bale. Ford versus Ferrari. I can't even say that. Ford versus Ferrari. I've actually heard a lot of good things about this movie, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. So I think I got this from Chad as well for 12 bucks, I believe. So Craig has been after me forever to get these on 4K. I've yet to see the second one. I think I started the second one and never finished it, but I have seen the first one. But both of the Daddy's Home 1 and 2 on 4K. And I got a really good deal from Chad on these two. So super happy to add these to the 4K collection. I think a bunch of these next ones here are all from Chad, but Kevin Costner and Waterworld. I never even owned this on Blu Ray. I seen it a very, very long time ago. And it's just that type of movie that everybody, either you really love it or you really hate it. But I don't know. From what I remember, I'm kind of in between on that movie. So I'm like probably one of the only people that kind of thought it was okay. So another title here from Chad, A Star is Born. I really, really enjoyed this movie and big tearjerker at the end. But as far as I know, I think it's a remake. Barbra Streisand was in the original, I believe. Am I right, Jess?
Yeah.
Barbra Streisand?
She's actually a remake too, I think.
Oh, really?
This is like the 3rd time this has been made in like the last 100 years.
No way. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, fantastic movie, you guys. Another pickup from Chad, Tom Hanks film, The Post. I caught bits and pieces of this movie. I think my parents were watching it one night, and they said it was extremely boring. I don't know. So from what I seen, it looked kind of boring, but I don't know. I'll give it a watch from beginning to end, you know, sometime soon, because I you know, it's Tom Hanks. Gotta check out everything from Tom Hanks at least once. But Sully, this was actually a really cool movie. Another movie based on a true story. But if you guys haven't seen Sully, check it out. Awesome performance from Tom Hanks. Told you I got a lot from Chad. Another one here, Charlie's Angels. This came out not too long ago, and I didn't grab it at first, but I finally got it from Chad for, you know, a good price. So figured I'd snag it. Pretty sure these are both from Chad as well, but I had the first one on 4K, so I just figured I'd get the other ones, the other two. But Hellboy 2, Golden Army, and then the Hellboy remake, which still haven't seen this yet, but I don't think I heard anything good about it. I just got it just for the collection. So a 4K I have been after forever, and they were always so expensive on eBay, especially to get it with a slipcover. And I almost bought it so many times for 50 or higher. And I'm glad I held off because I got really lucky one day. One just happened to pop up on eBay, and I got it with a slipcover, and I believe it was brand new, 30 bucks, you guys. You cannot go wrong. But Ghostbusters. Oh, God, Ghostbusters is just an all-time favorite movie of mine. I cannot wait to check out the 4K transfer. Stallone film on 4K, Escape Plan. This is the first one. Got the other two on Blu Ray. Haven't seen them, but I actually really enjoyed the first one, him and Schwarzenegger together. Yeah, picked this up from Chad, I believe, as well. Another new title that came out in May. That is Sonic the Hedgehog with Jim Carrey. I think I just ordered this from Amazon or something, no, I think BestBuy.com I ordered this. But, you know, a lot of people are really talking highly of this movie. I was never a big Sonic fan, but I mainly bought this for the kids and for the fact that Jim Carrey's in it. So I can't wait to finally check this movie out. A couple of Tom Cruise films released from Paramount onto 4K for the first time. Top Gun and Days of Thunder. Absolutely love Days of Thunder. I've watched this movie a million times since I was a kid. I even collected all the cars that Hardee's had back in the day. I mention that every time I talk about this. And then Top Gun. I like the movie. I'm not like a hardcore Top Gun fan like a lot of people, but figured I'd grab it on 4K. Another title that came to 4K for the first time in May, the original Blues Brothers. You can't go wrong with this movie. So happy to see this on 4K. I believe I found this on eBay. 4K title I've been after since it first came to 4K, so happy to finally find it with a slip. You know, I just wish I would have started collecting 4K from the beginning so I didn't have to play these slip games because, you know, it's easy to find titles on Amazon and eBay, but like always, to get it with a slip is always so hard. But I've been doing all right, been getting pretty lucky, but Backdraft, awesome firefighter movie, just fantastic, super sad, but love it. I don't remember where I got this one. Maybe Chad or eBay. I can't remember, but picked this up for Jess Warcraft. It's so funny that I'm showing you this movie right now because that's actually what she's doing as we speak. She's sitting over there on the couch playing World of Warcraft. But she saw the movie when it came out on Blu Ray for the first time. And I don't know, did you like it? You thought it was pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked it.
So I figured I'd get her the 4K of it. Got this off of eBay, Big Lebowski. Yes, had to own this on 4K. I only ever had this on Blu Ray Steelbook, but now I got the 4K slipcover edition. So happy. Such a great film. Everybody has to own this movie. Another really great film, Russell Crowe and Gladiator. This actually just got a steelbook, exclusive steelbook at Best Buy this month. You guys will see next month. Actually, probably seen it in my unboxing video I did, but absolutely love this movie. It is so cool. This isn't typically my taste of movies, but this one I really enjoy. Joaquin Phoenix, you just can't go wrong. And I actually read something that Johnny Cash himself actually picked Joaquin Phoenix to play him in Walk the Line based off of his performance in this movie. Believe it or not, I read that. So, another Tom Hanks movie that I can't believe I waited this long to get on 4K. One of his best, Saving Private Ryan. And I'm pretty sure I got this. Actually, I think I might have got this off of Mercari now, thinking about it. I forgot. I've been getting a lot of stuff off Mercari, but yeah, happy to finally have this. And the final two 4K and the final two A to Z are the final two Expendable films. I've had the first one on 4K for the longest time. It actually was one of like the first 4Ks I ever got from, I think I bought it from Craig. But I finally got both the sequels now, and I think I got them both off eBay, but both with slips. I love the Expendable movies. 2 is like definitely probably my favorite, to be honest with you. 3 was okay, but I just got to have them all. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and move on now. Now we've completed the A to Z. Yeah, I told you A to Z was like the biggest in the entire update, so let's get moving. All right, you guys, that takes us to the only other category that I have upstairs. So, and then we're going to head on down. So that is my Disney pickups. So basically the whole thing is 4K upgrades, except for this one. This is the one Blu-ray, one of the like last remaining Blu-ray with slips titles from Disney that I needed. Not necessarily a movie. It looks more of like a documentary, but it's called Disney Parks Where Dreams Come True. So I think it's just like some kind of a documentary on Disney World or something. I really don't know, to be honest with you guys. If you guys can read anything on the back there, I know it's blurry, but experience all the magic and thrills in stunning Blu-ray, Disneyland Resort, behind the scenes, ultimate Walt Disney World, undiscovered Disney parks. Yeah, just like some kind of a Disney special on Disney World. So I don't know, I just figured, you know what, it's a Blu-ray with a slip, get it for the collection. Okay, so you guys know I've been trying really hard to finally upgrade all my Disney to 4K. So that's what I've been doing a lot lately. So first up here, The Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I've never seen this. Did you watch this when I bought it on Blu-ray? Nutcracker in the Four Realms, Jess?
Yeah, Sadie and I watched it.
Was it all right, or?
Yeah, it was cute. It was actually really well done.
Really well done and cute. So the latest in the Disney Pixar collection, Onward. You guys know I talked about this forever when it came out in May. Never got released with a slipcover. First Disney Disney animated film on Blu Ray that didn't have a slip. But I ended up going with the Target exclusive, which is basically like a slip. It's just a flap open slip, but it was Target's exclusive. So I haven't checked this out yet. I don't know why. I've seen pretty much almost every single Pixar movie, and I love them. And I've heard that this was really good. So yeah, probably just one of those things again where I stuck it on the shelf and I forgot that I had it. So we got to check this out, Jess. Onward.
No, the kids have seen it.
They have?
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. Next up here, A Wrinkle in Time. You know, I'm grabbing these as I see them cheap. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get these as cheap as possible as I slowly upgrade. But never seen it. I think this was like one of the first Disney to come to 4K, I believe. Up next here, Mary Poppins Returns. Did you see this, Jess? Mm-hmm. Jess loves these kind of movies.
Yeah, I watched that one. It was cute.
Who plays her? What's her name again?
Oh, what's her name from?
Oh, I can't think of her name.
Didn't she?
Oh, Emily Blunt.
I was gonna say
Emily Blunt.
In the silent movie thing, the silent horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Her
Quiet Place.
Yeah, her person is what's his name, Krasowski or whatever.
Yeah, from The Office.
Uh-huh.
Next up here, the live action version of Aladdin, which I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people really didn't, but I thought they picked a pretty good cast. And Will Smith did good as a genie. I mean, you're never going to get anybody to do as good as Robin Williams, so just do your best and find somebody that will make it work. So I caught parts of this. Jess was watching this, and I seen a few scenes here and there or whatever, but live action Dumbo. This is a Tim Burton film with Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito. Yeah, had upgraded to 4K. Live action Beauty and the Beast, which I actually seen. Jess made me watch this with her one day. Absolutely stunning on Blu Ray. So I don't know what it's going to look like on 4K. I'm sure it's just going to be incredible. But this was a pretty well done remake, live action, whatever you want to call it. I know Jess really liked it a lot. Awesome cast. But yeah, phenomenal movie. One of the better live action Disneys. And the last of the Disney titles, took me forever, you guys, to try to find a good deal on these off eBay or wherever. And I think that's where I found them in the end, was on eBay. But I finally got all the Toy Stories on 4K with slipcovers. Found this in a lot on eBay. Really good deal. Something like 40 some bucks or something like that. It was awesome. But, you know, I ended up buying part 4 on 4K the day it came out, so I just needed these upgrades on the original. But all-time favorite Pixar, probably just, I don't know, probably my all-time favorite Disney's in general. Just, God, I love the Toy Story movies, but so happy to have these on 4K. And I've actually watched all these on 4K. Just, I didn't think it could get any better than Blu-ray, but you guys, it's just, the colors just pop like crazy. It's just awesome. So, all right, that is it for Disney. So that means that we are going to go ahead now and head downstairs. Now, I typically keep steelbooks upstairs as well, but I only have one steelbook in this update, and it actually happens to be a DC Marvel, which obviously will be downstairs. So downstairs, we will get into the horror, the boutique labels, and DC Marvel, and then the one steelbook. So we'll see you downstairs. Okie dokie, we've made our way down into the man cave, where I'm going to get into my DC and Marvel and my horror titles, and then all my boutique lines. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys the one and only steelbook in this humongous update, which is the, it's a DC title, the 8th installment in the DC Extended Universe. That's the Best Buy exclusive 4K steelbook for Birds of Prey, which I have still yet to see this movie. I have heard it's like the worst in the entire universe, but I'll get around to it at some point. The steelbook, however, is gorgeous. There's the front, there's the back, spine, and I took the discs out here. There's the picture on the inside. So yeah, that's the only steelbook I got in this update. I know I got a few for this month, but yeah, for some reason I only ended up getting one steelbook. So we're gonna move on now to the 2 series that I have. All right, the first one I'm going to show you here in my series, this one I'm a little confused about here. It's called Vixen the Movie. And even though they call it a movie, apparently it was based off of like a... you guys are going to have to tell me down in the comments below, because I get confused about these. But apparently it's part of the Arrowverse, like with Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl and all them. But it's an animated thing. And even though they call it a movie, I still think it's a series. I don't know, like some kind of a online series or something. I could have that completely wrong, but I just picked it up just, so I had like the, everything in the part of the collection, in the series. But this one, it comes in a side slip like all the like arrows and flashes, which that's what makes you think it's like part of that series. I have no idea, but anyways, I had to pick it up just for the collection. And then the only other series I got is something I wasn't really going to get at first because I never really watched this show. I got more into the Batman the Animated Series, which I have that badass set. But this was just too cool looking to pass up. And that's Batman Beyond the Complete Series. And I got the big deluxe one that comes with the Funko Pop. But this sucker is huge. I mean, look how big this is, you guys. It's like double the size of the animated series set that came with the little Funkos. But yeah, the sucker's huge. But that's everything that comes with it on the back. And like I said, I don't think I've seen any of these episodes at all. But it looks like kind of a cool rendition of Batman. So, yeah. I mainly got it for the collection. One day I'll hopefully get a chance to start watching all these. But, all right, that's it for the series, you guys. Now we're going to actually get into the straight DC Marvel stuff. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the Marvel. First one up here is Deadpool 2 on 4K. I still got to get part 1 on 4K, but when it got released, it never had a slipcover. And then later on, Walmart put out that exclusive slipcover on Blu Ray and 4K of him on the unicorn. I got to get that, but it's super expensive online. Hopefully, I'll find it one day. But in the meantime, I figured I'd grab this while I found it cheap. I think every one of these Marvels are actually all 4K, but we got a Marvel imprint here on 4K, and that's Kick-Ass. The second one has yet to come to 4K. I have it on Blu Ray. I'll get the 4K of it when it comes out. But yeah, just wanted to get it for the for the Marvel DC collection. I'm trying to get all the titles that are on 4K in my collection. So yeah, but this is a Marvel imprint, so which means it's just not straight Marvel. It just comes from a smaller company of Marvel. But anyway, so had to get that. Now all the rest of the Marvel are going to be the last remaining titles I needed for my Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now I can proudly say that I have every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film on 4K. So I don't think I really have these in any certain order, but I'll just grab them how they're sitting here. And some of these I got from Chad, some online. I really don't even know, to be honest with you, where I got all these, but we'll just quickly run through them. Captain America Civil War, Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This one and Thor Ragnarok were like some of the hardest ones to find. Those are really going for a lot with slips. Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Iron Man, first Thor movie, Captain Marvel, and the Incredible Hulk. So yeah, so now I have every single one. Pretty happy. And yeah, now I can kind of close the book on that hunt for all the MCU 4K. So pretty happy I was able to complete that collection. All right, we're going to take a look at the DC titles now. A couple animated things here. Picked up the Lego Batman movie on 4K. Super funny movie. I love this title, and I was so happy that they actually have a 4K of it. I should have bought it on 4K at the beginning, but found it on, I think, Macari for a pretty good deal. And next up, we got Batman the Killing Joke on 4K. I didn't know this was on 4K until Craig told me he wanted to pick it up, and then I started looking for it, and I think I found it on Macari. But this is the only title in the DC animated universe that I bought on 4K, because it happens to be one of the, I think the only one that actually had a theatrical release. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it had a very limited run, and it's the only one I've seen in the DC animated universe, I think. But I really like it, so I just figured I'd grab the 4K edition of it. So next up here is the most recent installment in the DC animated universe, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Yeah, like I said, this is the last one that they put out, and now they just announced Superman Man of Tomorrow, I think is what it's called. That's going to be coming out, I don't know, in a couple months or something like that. But I just got to keep buying them because I have the whole collection, even though I've like never really seen any of them, except for, you know, Batman the Killing Joke that I just showed you. But yeah, so just have to keep up with the collection. All right, we're going to get into a couple of DC Extended Universe things here. First up, you guys probably seen the unboxing of this, where I just like went on and on talking about this. So you guys know the story, but that is the Shazam digibook that I got from, again, I think it's an Australian company or something like that. But Target never released the exclusive digibook of this, like all the others, and this Australian company did, and it matches identical to all the others. I got it to keep the collection going, and then Birds of Prey comes out, and this is what we got. Here's Target's exclusive for Birds of Prey. Yeah, it's just an alternate slipcover, and that's it, I think. I don't know if there's anything else special about this other than just the... I mean, the slipcover is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not the digibook, and so far I've yet to see any company even release or talk about or anything of a digibook like all the others. So I don't know, but I bought it not exactly sure what it was going to look like, and yeah, this is what we got. So, and then here's the standard 4K edition of Birds of Prey. I had to get that one too, which I like this one. It's got like a sparkle to it. It's kind of cool. Okay, so the next three DC titles I'm going to show you, I used to have a triple feature thing that DC put out of these exact three titles, and the reason why I got rid of that, because I wanted individual titles of these, especially because one was on 4K, but like I said, these next three I'll show you were all on a triple feature that I had. So the first one up is Watchmen. So I had to get the 4K of this, which is why I decided to get individual titles of the other ones I'm about to show you, just to get rid of that stupid triple feature. But yeah, so I had to get Watchmen on 4K, and then didn't even know that this had an individual release with a slip. I mean, I knew there was an individual of it, but I didn't know that it actually had a slipcover. So I picked up this with the slip, and now I find out this is coming to 4K, which is cool. Even though I've never seen it, it's just cool for the DC collection. But yeah, this is a DC movie. A lot of people don't know that. But so there's that, and then I had to get this standard Am-Ray of Constantine because there is no slipcover edition of it, and it was in that triple feature that I had. So I just had to pick up an individual copy of that, which was really cheap. It was like $5 on eBay or something. So, all right, now we're going to end with a couple of DC imprint titles, which I believe these two here I got to upgrade to 4K. The two Red films, Red 1, Red 2. A lot of people don't know that these are Marvel, or not Marvel, DC imprints. Never really, I take it back. I've seen this one. I've never seen the second one. To be honest with you, I wasn't really a fan of the first one. I don't know, just really wasn't. I mean, great cast. I don't know. I just don't know why I didn't really like it, but have to give them for the DC collection, and had to upgrade them to 4K. All right, and the last pickup in my DC Marvel category is another imprint for DC, and that is The Kitchen with Melissa McCarthy. And what's so weird is that I just learned that this is a DC imprint title. I didn't know that. I remember when this came out and it was on the new release rack, and I didn't pick it up because I didn't know anything about it. Come to find out, it's actually a DC imprint title. It's so weird. I don't know why. It's just strange, but so I had to pick it up for the DC collection. So there you go, everybody. That's everything DC Marvel. We're going to go ahead now and get to the opposite corner of the man cave, where we got the boutique label stuff, and then all my horror. We'll see you over there. All right, you guys, we are over in the horror corner. You guys have yet to see this new setup down here. I got some new shelves. I got a whole new thing going on down here, which you guys will see in more detail coming up in some future videos, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So we're going to start out with the boutique stuff, and then we'll get into the straight horror. First and foremost, we got Scream Factory. The only IFC title I got here, The Devil's Dolls. I think I got this off eBay or something like that. Just something that looked kind of cool. I wanted to add it to the Scream Factory collection. Next up here, I got this from somebody off Facebook. And you know, to be honest with you, I probably should have put this with my series, but I don't know, whatever. It's a Scream Factory. Slasher Season 1. I've always wanted to see this, and I remember when it came out at Walmart on DVD. So I didn't know that there was an actual Blu Ray of this. And to top it off, I didn't know that Scream Factory put this out. But yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. A series with a slasher in it, like a cool slasher film. So had to pick that up. Yeah, I got a pretty good price on it too. All right, then just a couple of standard Scream Factories here. We got Bite. Title, it's been out for a while, and I found it cheap, so I grabbed it. You know, when it comes to the non-collector edition stuff, you know, I don't have everything, and I don't really plan on getting everything, but, you know, once in a while, if I come across something really cheap, and it's got a slipcover, you know, I'll just grab it for the collection, just for the hell of it, so that's why I bought that one. Got a newer Scream Factory title here, The House That Jack Built, with Matt Dillon. Just picked it up, it was new, and it looked interesting. Another newer one I picked up from, I think, Amazon as well. But again, I think that this one is in store. Camp Coldbrook. This one's got a really cool cast in here. Chad Michael Murray. I believe he was the dude from, I think, the House of Wax remake. And then, of course, Danielle Harris is in here. Courtney Gaines. But yeah, it just looks cool. Some ghost stories turn out to be true. So, yeah, I don't know. It looked interesting. From Joe Dante. So pick that up. My son just told me that he knows why I bought Camp Coldbrook, and it's not because of anything other than Danielle Harris. Well, smart boy, he's right. Now we're gonna get into the 3 Scream Factory collector editions that we got in the month of May. Believe it or not, this one was a badass one. When they announced this, even though it's been on Blu Ray before, just to know we were getting a badass new edition of it with new art and everything, I was really happy because it's one of my favorite movies. Idle Hands with Devon Sawa, Seth Green, Eldon Henson, Jessica Alba. Really, really funny movie. It's one of those like dark comedy horror movies, but I love it, and Scream Factory just nailed it with this edition. Next one up here, The Evil of Frankenstein, another Hammer title. Scream Factory has really been busting these out like crazy lately, but. And then the last Scream Factory title, collector edition of Escape from LA. I was so pumped when they announced this because I happen to like this movie a lot better than the first one, Escape from New York. You know, maybe you guys, I'm probably one of the few people that feel that way. But I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of the first movie. But I love this one. This is actually the first one I saw, and I didn't even know it was a sequel, to be honest with you, at the time. I didn't know Escape from New York existed, but came out in the late 90s, I think maybe 96 or something like that. Yeah, 96. But Keep Town Craig, you got to check this movie out because I think it's way better than the first one. So, but anyways, thank you Scream Factory for putting that up because they did collector edition of the last one. So. Okay, the one and only Arrow title in this update. You know, I don't buy a lot of Arrow. I do once in a great while if something cool comes out and it's got a slipcover on it. But I had to get Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, how could I not? You know what I mean? Just kidding. I've almost met her so many times. She's been at a few different conventions that I've gone to, and I don't know. I mean, I never end up meeting her. I don't know what it is. One of these days I will. But in the meantime, it came with a really cool slipcover, new artwork, and I thought it'd be a nice addition to the Arrow collection. So, all right, now we're going to get into the Vinegar Syndrome. I actually got 5 Vinegar Syndrome in this update, and next month I'll have a ton more. You guys, just seeing the Vinegar Syndrome unboxing that I posted recently. So I got a ton more for June's update. But for May, I did get some cool stuff here. First one up here is actually one I'm going to show you that I bought separately. I got this off eBay. I wanted to get this when it came out back during the whatever sale they had going on, but this was a new title then. I think it was earlier in the year, maybe. I can't remember. But I missed out on it, and I really wanted it. But that is Pledge Night. Just one that looked interesting to me, something I wanted to watch. Now, these next four, I believe I got from the previous Vinegar Syndrome sale before the halfway to Black Friday sale that they were doing. And I placed an order at that time because of one particular title that they had just released that day that I had to get, Craig had to get. And so I just threw a few more in there just, you know, just for the, you know, at the time, you know, they had new stuff. So, but this one here, I believe this one was new at the time. I can't keep up with all these, but Deadline. This one looks pretty cool. I think I did an unboxing of that. Like usual, you guys, I always put my unboxing videos down in the description box of these updates so you guys can see some of the stuff in more detail. This one, I believe, is older, but Play Dead. Don't know anything about this. It just makes me think it's like a Cujo movie. Maybe it's nothing like that, but I don't know. It just reminds me of that. But cool art. And then we got Berserker. I see some people in a tent, so maybe it's some kind of a slasher out in the woods. I have no idea. But this just looks cool. And then the big title, this was actually one of the coolest announcements that Vinegar Syndrome has done in a long time. Something I actually was like excited about when they announced it, of a title I knew and seen before. And that is Dolly Dearest. Awesome. Great, great release for Vinegar Syndrome. Okay, we have reached the final category in this update. Oh, there's been a lot of movies, but I appreciate you guys who are still sticking with the flow of this video. So, all right, we're going to start out with Amrays. First one up here. Movie I picked up, full moon title here, Demonic Toys. This just happens to be one of those movies that kind of crossed over with Puppet Masters. And I didn't know that they were actually, they had a Blu Ray of the first one. I don't know. I know that there's more of these movies. I don't know if they're all on Blu Ray, but I seen that the first one was, so I had to grab it. So I kind of forgot that this movie existed. I have the first two, the Arrow box sets of the first two, but I forgot that there was a third film here in the original the original series from back in the day. But The Hills Have Eyes 3, I believe they call this Mind Ripper. But Lance Henriksen is in this. I don't know anything about this movie. I've never seen it, but I just want to get it for the collection. Okay, so a movie that I think came to Blu-ray for the first time in May. Pretty sure it did. But a Ryan Nicholson film from Unearthed Films, Gutterballs. MVD Visual released this. I haven't seen it yet, but it looked cool. This is there's two different editions, the standard one and then the 2-disc collector's edition. So that's the one I picked up. This movie here, you guys, Gags the Clown. I don't really know. I haven't watched it yet, but I don't really know if this is meant to be like a documentary or a movie or kind of half and half. But I remember a couple years ago, I started seeing on the news, I'm sure a lot of you guys did too, about this clown in Green Bay, Wisconsin, that that people would just see standing on a street corner late at night, and nobody knew what it was all about. It was if it was some crazy psycho killer, or if it was just some idiot, or if it was actually something for like a publicity stunt. Like nobody really knew, and I think the media actually named him Gags the Clown. I don't know if it was meant to be Gags the Clown or that somebody just named him that. But I don't know. This is really strange. A small city in Wisconsin is terrorized by a mysterious clown who roams the streets late at night with nothing more than a handful of black balloons. The local news stations scramble to break the story on who he is and what he wants. I mean, I don't know. Like I gotta watch this. I don't know if this is an actual movie or like a documentary or like, I don't know what it is, but I had to pick it up just because I remember the story, and, you know, Wisconsin's like, you know, right next door to me, you know, but Next up here is a film that I've actually never seen. I've heard of it. I've always wanted to see it because it looks so cool. And that is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. I think this is a 90s movie, late 80s, early 90s. I don't know. I'm never going to find it. But apparently it's like kind of like a comedy slash horror, I think, with some like Ghostbuster elements to it or something like that. I don't know, but I've always wanted to see it. It's a Peter Jackson film. But yeah, I had to grab it finally. I think I got this off of, I think eBay. So I was sitting downstairs going through my horror movies, kind of looking at them one day. And I started looking at my DVDs, and I was trying to decide how many of my DVD horror collection is left that there's actually Blu-rays for that I haven't got the Blu-ray yet. But I was pretty surprised to find there was actually a few DVDs that I had that I still haven't bought the Blu-ray for. I didn't even really know were on Blu-ray. First one up here is, there's only two of them, but Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2. I love these movies. A lot of people haven't really heard of them. The first one's not on Blu-ray in the U.S. I think there's a different region Blu-ray of it, but I have the DVD of it. It's just called Laid to Rest, and then this is called Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2. Really cool slasher film. You guys definitely have to check them out. And then another one that I upgraded from DVD, a movie called Dark House. What's his name is in this? Tobin Bell's in this. But it's a pretty cool movie. I remember seeing it one time, and I had no idea that this was on Blu-ray, so had to grab it. So that's the last of the Amrays. I got a couple of sets here I'm going to show you, and then we'll get into the slips and then the 4K slips. Okay, so up next here is the 2-pack of the original Halloween and then the brand new Halloween from 2018. I got so many copies of these movies, and why I wanted to get this double set, I don't know. I just think it was kind of cool to kind of put these two together, because everybody knows that the new movie that they put out is a direct sequel to the original. So to get like a double pack of the two together just to show that, they go together, I just thought it would be just a cool collection piece, something for the collection. So I picked it up. I remember my son, he just recently got into collecting movies big time, and he really liked the original Halloween and the newer one, and so he just went with this. And then when I seen that we were ordering this for him, I'm like, you know what, I gotta get an edition of it myself. So that's why I had to grab it. All right, next here, you guys, is the complete Chucky collection, Child's Play set, the 7 movie collection where you get them all in here except for the remake. When this came out, I never bought this because I was happy with the other set I had that came with the first 6. This one here, I really like the look of this one. And then I just had the last one, Cult of Chucky, on just individual Blu-ray. And my son, he loves the Chucky movies, and he wanted all the movies, in one set. And then I knew that this existed, so he actually bought this with his own money, his own Chucky set. And so we ordered it for him, and then the case actually came cracked. The actual big thick Amray in here came cracked, so I had to replace it, get him another one. And then that's when I finally decided, I'm like, you know what? This thing keeps coming in the mail. I keep looking at it. We had to get 2 different sets in the mail for my son. And then I seen this one. I just love the lenticular cover. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get this. I'm going to finally break down and get it. And I'll just keep them both because I'm crazy. But so I finally got it after all this time. And it's just, what I like best about it is the fact that they're all together. The remake, obviously is not in here because the remake was put out by, Fox. But this is the original 7 together in one set. So figured, what the hell. All right, we're going to get into the Blu-ray slipcovers now. The next, I believe 5 I'm going to show you here are, I ordered all these off of Ronin Flicks. They had some sales going on. And these are actually some more boutique stuff. Some Code Red and some Scorpion releasing. But I don't collect enough of these to actually put them in a separate category. So we'll just kind of run through them. So the first 2 are going to be Code Red. We got a movie with Linda Blair called Savage Streets. Scorpion releasing and Code Red does awesome on artwork, just like Scream Factory and, a lot of the other lines. But Craig told me to grab this. He said that it's a pretty cool movie. And then the other code red I got is a movie called Spasms. I don't know. The artwork is cool on here, but it looks so like cheap. I don't know. Like it almost looks like really faded or something. I don't know, but I just grabbed this because it was, you know, you get so many and you get free shipping, so I just tossed them in. So those were the 2 code reds, and then now I'll show you the Scorpion releasings. Craig has been after me to get this for the longest time. We already have the Scream Factory collector edition of this movie, but Scorpion Releasing put this edition out. And to be honest with you, Craig and I both agree that we think the artwork is a lot cooler on the Scorpion Releasing than the Scream Factory one. And apparently it's a better transfer, but anyways, that is Terror Train. And I remember I finally decided, like, you know what, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get the Scorpion Releasing for Terror Train. And I can't tell you how many times I almost dropped like 50 bucks on it on eBay. And I'm so glad I didn't, because in the Ronin Flick sale, I got it for like 20 or something like that. So I was so happy. But finally gave in. Now I got another copy of this, but why the hell not? And then the other one is a movie called Shredder. This one looks badass. Like about some killer like snowboarder or something. Yeah, Death to Snowboarders. I don't know. Craig said this is awesome. I had to pick that up. And then the other Scorpion Releasing is a movie called Grizzly. I don't know, Killer Bear or something. Let me look at that on the back. It's awesome. I'm sure it's going to be really cheesy and stupid, but I had to get it. All right, a new film here called Gretel and Hansel. I haven't seen it yet. And it's kind of funny. I don't know why they call it Gretel and Hansel, because every other movie or fairy tale or whatever ever put out for this has always been Hansel and Gretel. I'm sure there's a reason for it. If I just looked it up, I'd probably find out. But if you guys know, tell me down in the comments below. Another newer movie here called The Lodge. The main reason why I got this is because Alicia Silverstone's in here, and so is Jaden, what's his name? Jaden Lieber, the new young Bill from the new It movie is in this. But I don't know, I pretty much got it because of the cast, but haven't checked it out yet. Will soon. Another new movie that came out in May, Arkansas. It's got a really good cast in here. You get Liam Hemsworth, Vivica Fox, John Malkovich, Vince Vaughn. I don't know. It just looks like a pretty cool thriller. Cool cover on that. I had to grab it. Now this one here, you guys, I've actually, you know, I've had this movie forever on Blu-ray, but I never knew that there was a Canadian release of it with this really cool slipcover. And the Dollar Tree recently, people started finding it with the slipcover, the Canadian edition with the slipcover at Dollar Trees. So I ran out to my Dollar Trees that day and I looked at like 3 of them and I didn't find them at all, which I knew I wouldn't, because my Dollar Tree gets crap when it comes to the dollar DVDs and Blu-rays. So at that point, when I realized that it actually had a slip, I jumped online and I didn't pay a lot for it. I think actually, to be honest, I think I got it for like 12 bucks. Obviously, it would have been way better to find it for $1 at a Dollar Tree, but, you know, mine didn't have it. So either way, I'm happy. And that is Piranha, the remake of Piranha. And this badass slipcover, it flips open and everything. And it's like a big, one of those big things that flip open, kind of like the Babadook slipcover from Scream Factory. But I love the remake and the sequel to the remake. They're just good cheese. Next up here is a movie called Doom Annihilation. I guess I didn't know this, but this is actually a sequel to, I think it's a sequel. I forgot now. I read about it. I don't know if it's a sequel or a remake. I think a sequel to the actual Doom movie that was put out with The Rock in it, you know, years back. And I grabbed it just because it's got a cool cover and everything. And I like the original Doom. Never got into the video game. Maybe a little bit back in the day, not a ton. But I liked the movie. It was good fun. And I figured, hey, you got this new one out, might as well grab it. Next up here, a movie called The New Kids, one of those cool retro VHS slipcovers from Mill Creek. I didn't buy this when they came out. I should have. But I hadn't really heard of it at the time. And then I started hearing a lot of good things from people about it. So I grabbed it. I think I got this from somebody on Facebook along with a few others. But yeah, I'm happy to have it. So I think this was the official last title I needed from the like Dead franchise, the George Romero Dead franchise. I got to look into it a little bit further, but I think I got them all now. with, you know, the originals and the remakes and everything. But Survival of the Dead. And I didn't even know that this came with a really cool lenticular slip. But I'm kind of pissed about that up there in the corner. It's all messed up. I got to work on that because it looks like shit. But anyways, I don't know anything about this movie. I've never seen it. But yeah, cool looking slip on here. So another newer-ish movie that came out, I think a few months ago. A movie called Satanic Panic. And this actually, it sounds cool. Apparently, like, somebody, like, goes to deliver a pizza at somebody's house, and then they end up getting invited in, and they find out they're, like, this weird satanic cult or something. I don't know. It sounded really cool, and I almost bought this one day in Walmart, but it was one of those titles that Walmart had to rename in order to have it on the shelf, you know, just for restrictions, you know, and they called it just Panic. It was just called Panic. And I almost bought it, but I'm like, you know what? I want the one that has the actual original title on it, which is actual Satanic Panic. I guess Walmart couldn't show the satanic name. So I think, ordered this off of eBay or something like that. But I'm interested in checking this out. It looks pretty cool. Okay, the next two movies I'm going to show you here, I don't really know a lot about. They got some awesome lenticular covers on here. But the company that made these, I think they're like a different country. The company that makes these. But you got The Wave, which was the first movie, and then you got The Quake, which was the second movie. Who put these out? Magnolia Home Entertainment. And yeah, for some reason, I think this company is out of the country. I could be completely wrong about that. I don't know. Inspired by true events. At least this one says it is. And then this is supposed to be the sequel, the follow-up to that, whatever. But I remember seeing when this came out, it was a new release on Walmart. At Walmart, I seen it when it came out not too long ago. And then I found out that it was actually a sequel to The Wave. So I had to get them both. I think one of these I got off of eBay, and I think one I got off somebody from Facebook. But I haven't seen either one of them, but looking forward to checking them out. We got another new title here from Blumhouse, actually. Fantasy Island. I remember when I thought that this was... when I seen that this was coming out, I didn't know it was like a horror movie. Yeah, apparently it is. So I had to grab it from the same producer as Get Out and Halloween 2018. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So had to pick it up. Another new title that came out in May. We got the follow-up to The Boy, and this one's called Brahms, The Boy 2. And this, of course, is the like theatrical release movie called The Boy. I talked about this before. You know, you got another movie called The Boy that Scream Factory put out. But this is not a sequel to that. This is a sequel to the one that was actually in the theater. But still haven't seen either one of these movies. I really want to check them both out. Just haven't gotten around to it. But had to get the sequel, though, just because I had the first one. The last slipcover horror title before we get to the 4K horror is Nicolas Cage and Knowing. I think I picked this up at Half Price Books, like I told you guys earlier in this video. You know, my Half Price Books started opening up, and at the end of May when I went in there, I think I found this one that day too. It was so cheap, so I just grabbed it. But now I found out that I forgot that this is on 4K, I believe. So I'll probably upgrade it to 4K at some point. But I'm not like a super big fan of this movie, but I kind of liked it. Okay, you guys, now we're getting into the 4K horror. I don't have as much 4K horror as I did 4K A to Z, but still a good chunk. First two, I was so excited to see these get announced from Blue Underground, but we got, of course, Maniac and Zombie, and these slipcovers are badass. They're embossed and stuff. Yeah, I mean, some of these boutique lines now are getting into 4K. Shot Factory's doing it. Arrow's doing it now. Blue Underground. I mean, it's just awesome that everybody's joining the 4K party now. You know, now that I am getting into it myself, you know, really hardcore. But yeah, so happy to see these two movies. Next up, I got this off of eBay, pretty good price. As I upgrade to 4K, I'm trying to keep the prices around the $15 range, unless it's like a really out of print slipcover that I'm gonna have to end up paying more. I think this one was only 15 bucks though. I can't quite remember, but the King Kong, this is the 2006 edition, 2005 edition, like I always forget. 2003, I have no idea. This is the one with Jack Black, as everybody calls it, the Jack Black one. Yeah, had to get this. I love King Kong and Godzilla and all that stuff, you know, gotta get it all. This one, this was a tough one to find on 4K with a slip, Cabin in the Woods. Once I finally found it, I seen that Chad finally put his up for sale really cheap, and I probably could have got it a lot cheaper than what I paid for it. I think I paid $20 for it in the end. But I love this movie. I always thought this movie was so unique. Like, when you get for those who have seen it, when you get to the end, when it makes that weird twist, you know, and it just turns into something you would never expect, was just awesome. But so happy to have the 4K of this. All right, another new title here. We got The Invisible Man, just recently came out. So I had to pick up the 4K of this, and then I went ahead and grabbed the 4K of The Mummy too, because these are kind of supposed to be set in the same universe now. I talked about that when I did the unboxing of this, I believe. I don't know where things are exactly these days with this new universe thing that they were trying to do. I think, to be honest with you, in the end now, these are just standalone movies. I don't know exactly what their plan is, but there's supposed to be this whole new, like universe thing that they're doing with all the Universal monster movies, kind of putting them together in one franchise. But I don't know. But anyways, I had this on Blu Ray, and I just figured, I'm like, you know what? I'll get the 4K Invisible Man, which is like, was supposed to be the second movie in this universe after The Mummy. I heard that this movie's horrible, but I just got it to have both on 4K. And I'm excited to see this one. I actually heard good things about it. Had to pick up the 4K of this, you guys. Hellfest. A newer horror movie that came out, like, I think a year or two ago or something like that. And I had the Blu Ray, and I actually watched it. This movie was really cool. Like a slasher set at like a theme park. Really, really dug this movie, and was very happy to upgrade this to 4K. Really happy to finally upgrade these to 4K, all the Purge movies. And my son was pretty happy too, because as he's gotten into horror movies, or not just movies in general, but he's really into horror movies too, more than anything. And usually when I upgrade stuff to 4K, I usually end up giving him a lot of my Blu-rays, which makes him pretty happy. So he was really happy to get all the Purge movies. But yeah, really happy that they were actually individual releases, because I know that they put out the 1 through 3 set on 4K first, and then they released individual ones, because you guys know me, I just would prefer individual than anything. But yeah, so happy to have all these. Of course, you got the Purge, you got the Purge, what is this one? Purge Anarchy, Election Year, and then the newest one, the first Purge, which is actually the prequel to the original, which I really enjoyed that one. Next up, I think I got both of these from Chad, if I'm not mistaken, but Split and Glass. And God, I wish the first movie in this trilogy would come to 4K, or at least, you know, have a slipcover for the Blu-ray, because all we get is a standard Amaray, the first one, which of course is unbreakable. But I still haven't seen Glass. I gotta see this movie. I don't know what's taking me so long to watch this damn movie, because I really liked Split, and I really liked Unbreakable too, the first one. So I gotta get on this, but I'm so happy now I have both of these on 4K. Next up, we got Alien Covenant. Figured I'd go ahead and snag the 4K of that. I think so far the only ones that are on 4K for this franchise is the Alien, the first one, and then Prometheus. But yeah, I just figured, yeah, I'm just pretty much all the horror that I have on Blu-ray. If there's a 4K, I'm trying to upgrade them. Which I think I only have a few left, and then I'll pretty much anything that I have that there's a 4K for, I'll have it. Speaking of Alien, of course, had to get the newest Predator film on 4K, which I still have yet to see. Yeah, this is the only Predator movie I haven't seen. I haven't seen all the other ones. But yeah, Craig says it's not that good, but a lot of people didn't really like this one. All right, next up here, I never even owned this on Blu-ray, you guys, but I think, now I'm forgetting again, where did I get this from? Chad, I think. But the 25th anniversary edition of Bram Stoker's Dracula. One of the coolest Dracula films I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm really happy that I got this on 4K. I just got to get the Dracula Untold now. Which, Dracula Untold, way back in the day, was supposed to be the first official title in that universe, that the Universal Monster Universe thing that I was just talking about with The Mummy, Invisible Man. It was supposed to be the first one, but anyways, really happy to have this one on 4K. All right, speaking of boutique lines going to 4K, forgot to mention we do have one here from Synapse Films, which I believe is their first one. Craig and I had to jump on this, the original Suspiria. What an awesome release from them, you guys. Yeah, like everybody's joining the 4K club in the boutique lines, which is really cool. So very happy to have this. Just a couple more here, you guys. I know this was a big one, a long video. I'm really, really sorry. But next up here, we got the Meg on 4K. Really enjoyed this movie. All right, next up here, you guys, we got Godzilla King of the Monsters. I've been trying to get this new universe on 4K now, which, of course, for those of you who might know, we had the 2014 Godzilla was the first movie. Then we got Kong Skull Island was the next movie. And then Godzilla King of the Monsters. And now the next one coming out is supposed to be like King Kong versus Godzilla or something like that. I'm really liking these movies. I think they're doing a good job with them, and I have a lot of fun with them. So the original 2014 Godzilla hasn't come to 4K yet. I'm sure it will at some point. But this one and Kong Skull Island both have. So yeah, had to get them. Okay, you guys, we've come to the last and final title in this Blu-ray update. My biggest update ever, 181. You guys are still here. Whoever is still here that sat through this entire thing, I really appreciate it. But anyways, we got Quiet Place on 4K. Love this movie. Thought it was such a unique idea for a movie. And, you know, for actors that, you know, have to, like, act out a movie where you can't talk, you just have to kind of base it on your actions and your facial expressions. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski did so good. And apparently, according to my son, I don't know why I didn't know this, but apparently they're married in real life. So I guess that's why the chemistry between them was so well in this movie. My son recently got me into watching The Office, because I've never been a big like TV series kind of guy. And he recently got me watching it, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's just super funny. You know, John Krasinski's in it. You know, for those of you that watch the show, I'm sure you know he plays Jim. But yeah, had to grab the 4K of that. All right, everybody, that'll do it for my May Blu-ray update. And my son figured he'd join me on this outro here. This is the guy I've been telling you about who's like gotten so into movies lately. Picked himself up a good chunk for his collection. Today we went out and hit up a few half-price books here and there, and yeah, he's really getting into movies, and which is awesome, because
especially comedy and horror.
Yeah, horrors is probably his #1, which is cool because that's pretty much mine too. So, but anyways, you guys, again, I want to thank everybody who stuck with the whole flow of this video all the way to the end. You know, when you got this many titles, it's hard to fly through sometimes because you want to say things about the movies. But either way, you guys, it was a big one. And next month, if I counted right, should not be anywhere near as big. I think it might be like a third the size of this one, so it'll be a lot better of a video, a lot smaller. So anyways, everybody, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the like button right down below, drop me a comment, let me know what you guys think of the pickups. I know there's probably a lot to remember, but let me know what you guys think. Share the video around, subscribe if you have not. Real quick note I'm gonna throw out there. I asked a lot of you guys to do this before. Subscribe to his channel, which is usually down in the description box.
I know I stopped for a while, but like a couple months ago I started like posting clips of like gaming and stuff, and I do it every now and then.
He just recently got back into YouTube, so if you can, go over to his channel, give a sub, watch his videos.
And my timeline's very unorganized and the clips are very short, so if you want to drop by, go ahead. Appreciate it. Drop by.
He's a gamer. He loves playing games. That's what his channel's about. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.